NNDPP and invited guests, colleagues, all protocols observed. Welcome to the launch of the Prosecution Guidelines for Economic and Financial Crimes. Indeed, as the prayer said, this is a momentous occasion, and we are all glad that this day has finally come. It's upon us. We are grateful for all of you who have come and braved this cold weather to be out here with us. We hope not to keep you very long. We hope that as the program goes on, you enjoy what we're putting in place and that we can implement the guidelines that are being launched, so that together we can fight illicit crimes. And I think, as you can see from our pop-ups, we are here to fight the thugs in suits and perfumes to ensure that we dismantle all types of economic crimes or organized crimes, all crimes. Doesn't matter whether you're a magnet or an individual trying to commit financial crimes. We are going to be there, going to be. So at this particular juncture, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite the Chief State Advocate, Ms. Mumba, to give her welcoming remarks.
Thank you so much, Director of Programs, Leonard DPP, the Acting Director General of the FIC, the Deputy Director General, Anti-Corruption Commission, representatives from GIZ ENACT Program. Please allow me to read on the protocol already observed by the Director of Ceremonies. Learning DPP, it is indeed my profound honor and privilege to welcome you to this ceremony marking the launch of the guidelines for the prosecution of economic and financial crimes. The guidelines have been developed under the able guidance of the Learned Director of Public Prosecutions with support from, the name is long, but GIZ in short. I'm afraid I may leave my tongue should I try to verbalize it. The guidelines have been formulated to aid prosecutors in the prosecution of economic and financial crimes. We know that historically, the DPP's office, that later became the National Prosecution Authority, had been prosecuting violent crimes. With the incorporation of prosecutors from other law enforcement agencies that were conducting prosecutions, the NPA became more involved in the prosecution of financial and economic crimes. To that end, they created specialized departments that were tasked with the duty to deal with such cases. With that establishment, a need arose to build capacity to prosecute economic and financial crimes. This was further underscored by the inaugural Prosecutors Conference that was themed Prosecutorial Excellence in Economic and Financial Crimes in the Digital Era, Resilience and Reinvention of Strategies. As a response to the need to build capacity of prosecutors and as an outcome of the said inaugural Annual Prosecutors Conference, it was realized that there was need for guidelines to guide prosecutors in the prosecution of economic and financial crimes, which activity GIZ, through its ENACT program, graciously accepted to support and fund. In addition, the establishment of specialized courts by the judiciary to handle economic and financial crimes further echoes the need for the NPA to build specialized capacity to prosecute such crimes, further underscoring the need for guidelines that are being launched today. For the support and leadership, we thank you, Learned DPP. For the funding and technical support, we thank GIZ, the ENACT program, for making this day possible. To my fellow prosecutors, it is my sincere hope that the guidelines will be put to good use as they guide us in the manner we conduct economic and financial crimes. One of our cries as prosecutors is the lack of resource materials. So I'm confident that the guidelines being launched today will go a long way in partly addressing the lack of resource material and equip us with the resource we can easily refer to as we conduct prosecutions. To this end, allow me to appreciate once again our funders and all those that worked tirelessly to ensure that the guidelines are developed and produced. This includes the entire management and staff of the National Prosecution Authority and the committee that was empaneled by the learned Director of Public Prosecutions, comprising staff from NPA and the Anti-Corruption Commission. The team worked tirelessly to ensure that the guidelines are produced and launched today. So as we look forward to having uniform prosecutions in the area of financial crimes, I urge us all to put the tool that has been placed in our hands to the best use possible for us to protect our nation and ensure that we prosecute criminals in suits and in perfume. I thank you so much. At this juncture, it's my singular honor and privilege to call upon the leading Director of Public Prosecutions to give his remarks at this stage.
Thank you so much, Chief State Advocate. The Acting Director General of the Anti-Corruption Commission, since I know the Director General is out of jurisdiction, Acting Director General of Financial Intelligence Center, representative of the INACT Zambia Head of Program, and representatives from GIZ, representatives of all stakeholder agencies that are present here, senior management of the National Prosecution Authority present, members of the press that are present, esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, may I simply say, or protocol observed. Today indeed marks a very significant milestone in our journey towards enhancing our capacity in prosecuting economic and financial crimes as we launch the guidelines for the prosecution of economic and financial crimes. This launch is a testament to our commitment to building specialized expertise in the prosecution of these crimes in the nation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me to convey my most sincere gratitude to the INACT Zambia program, a program under GIZ for making this milestone possible through the financial assistance that was rendered to this process. Our partnership with GIZ under INACT program is a partnership my staff and I have immensely benefited from, individually and as a collective. Allow me to put this partnership briefly into perspective. The NPA has collaborated with GIZ INACT Zambia since the inception of the program. In 2023, GIZ through INACT program was the biggest sponsor of the inaugural National Prosecutors Conference that we held in Livingstone. It is from this conference that the idea to formulate these guidelines was birthed, arising from the various experiences and insights that were shared. The GIZ, in the same measure, sponsored the second Prosecutors Conference in Lusaka. In addition, INACT sponsored a study visit to Kenya and Germany, where 3 National Prosecution Authority officers participated and benefited immensely from that exposure. Through this partnership, we have had trainings facilitated through the ENACT program on the investigation and prosecution of economic and financial crimes, in which the NPA and other institutions have jointly participated. With all that the NPA has achieved through this partnership, I'm not certain whether I've adequately and appropriately represented our collective feeling of great indebtedness. Indebtedness for the fact that most of the collaboration events have greatly enhanced our capacity to combat financial and other crimes in their various manifestations, and enabled us, I believe, to play a more meaningful role in the criminal justice sector. As if what our past partnership with ENACT program has bathed is not enough, we are gathered here to witness the launch of the guidelines for the prosecution of economic and financial crimes, an event which has been made possible by the support rendered. Esteemed colleagues, the war against crime is a war we cannot wage and fight alone. It is for this reason that we greatly value our partnership with entities such as ENACT Zambia program, and so many stakeholders present here. I see the Police, Anti-Corruption Commission, Financial Intelligence Center, and many others. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you agree with me that economic and financial crimes have devastating effects on development of economies and their stability, and that they generate considerable social damage. The Zambian taxpayer bears the brunt of all these effects. Hence, we cannot allow them to go unabated. Given the complexity, multifaceted, and usually transnational nature of these crimes, it is imperative that we adapt and develop strategies to effectively tackle them. The inaugural annual Prosecutors Conference to effectively tackle them. The inaugural annual Prosecutors Conference underscored this need, highlighting the importance of prosecutorial excellence in the digital era. The judiciary's establishment of the economic and financial crimes specialized courts inescapably calls on us to deepen our expertise in the area of economic and financial crimes. Allow me to remind our prosecutors here present, and those that may be watching the proceedings here, countrywide, that the economic and financial crimes we are targeting are not committed by your everyday chicken thief. These crimes are committed by very honorable-looking ladies and gentlemen in well-tailored suits and expensive perfume, driving sleek and expensive vehicles. Their motivation for committing these crimes is informed by insatiable greed and desire for financial gain. They perpetrate these crimes using complex schemes which are aimed at concealing or disguising the source and final beneficiary of the loot. This species or this cadre of criminals is most dangerous because invariably they are in positions of influence and authority and trust. Some are in the public service. We have those that control organized criminal gangs, but they ensure that they conceal their involvement. This is a crop of criminals we must bring to account. It is for this reason, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm confident that these guidelines will equip you, the prosecutors, with the necessary tools to effectively prosecute economic and financial crimes. They will also ensure standardization in the prosecution of such cases. Therefore, I urge all prosecutors to diligently utilize these guidelines to ensure that they make a meaningful impact. Remember, when you are fighting crime, we have no apologies to make. We even set aside diplomacy because of the devastating effects and consequences of criminals and thugs in suits and perfumes, as has been said earlier. Lastly, I urge you all, prosecutors, to receive these guidelines with a renewed impetus and resolve to soldier on in the fight and war against financial crime. I wish to thank you all. Thank you so much.
Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure with that, with those very warm remarks, your hands are under that coat. That coat that you are feeling has been thawed up. So you're running with excitement now. Your blood is boiling to deter, disrupt, and eradicate financial crimes. All right. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the team that worked tirelessly over a number of months to come up and develop the guidelines that we are launching today to take center stage. It so happens that I'm also part of that team that needs to go and take center stage. So you excuse me for a brief moment. I'll return again in a moment. As we present the book to the DPP, I'll ask you with your guest of honor just to take the front row. Ladies and gentlemen, with that wonderful dance, it signifies launch of the guidelines as lifted in the air, as the DPP lifted the book like Simba was lifted by his father. Now we can all take our seats so we can prepare for a vote of thanks from Mr. Mala. sure you can see from the faces that were in front here how proud we are of the work that has been achieved so far. And I think we will be more prouder once we implement the book and people start using it. Ms. Mwala.
The Learned Director of Public Prosecutions, Mr. Gilbert A. Peary, State Counsel, the Acting Director General, Financial Intelligence Center, the Acting Director General, Anti-Corruption Commission, the ENACT Zambia Head of Program, and other representatives from GIZ, ENACT Program, the Chief State Advocate, all representatives of stakeholder agencies present, senior management of the National Prosecution Authority present, members of the press present, ladies and gentlemen, may I simply say all protocol observed. On behalf of the Taxation and Financial Crimes Department and all prosecutors, I feel honored to express our profound gratitude to the ENACT program under the GIZ for their invaluable support in making these guidelines for the prosecution of economic and financial crimes a reality. Without your support, the development of these guidelines would not have been possible. Your support has been instrumental in shaping a framework that will enhance the effectiveness and efficiency of our prosecution efforts. These guidelines will not only serve as a vital tool for us, the prosecutors, but will also enable us to navigate complex financial crime cases with confidence and expertise. To the members of staff of the National Prosecution Authority and the Anti-Corruption Commission, such as Mr. Chipawa and yours truly, who tirelessly contributed to the development of these guidelines, we acknowledge your dedication and your hard work. Your collective expertise and commitment to this project have been instrumental in shaping these guidelines into a comprehensive resource. We thank you for your contributions. Your efforts will undoubtedly enhance our capacity to prosecute economic and financial crimes effectively. I thank you.
Just an announcement, let me DPP to everyone that we will be distributing through the DPP the guidelines to